Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. It's just shy of 7 o'clock in the morning right here in Sweet CNC, and we're so excited because, of course, Steelpan Month is here, and every single day we're making sure that you hear something, learn something new about our beautiful instrument. And speaking about that, there is a brand new audiobook that you're actually going to be able to hear right here, but I'm not going to give it away right now. What I am going to say is welcome to the author, Stuart Ramon Fortuné, and executive producer, and Navid Lancaster, sound designer and film composer for the incredible book and audiobook From Ibadan to Helyard. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you here. Give thanks. It's a wonderful Friday morning. And we're so excited for this conversation. I mean, we've had a little bit of conversation about this before, but now it's in its prime. Before we get into the details, what inspired you to write the book, Stuart?
Well, I will say the same thing I've been saying. During COVID, there was a lot of downtime, and I was doing a lot of binge watching like everyone else.
Yeah.
Vikings, samurai, barbarians. So every culture had their own history, their own story, their own myth-building tale about their, again, culture.
Yeah.
So I was like, what our own would look like? So I began to do the research, and I realized that our own was so colorful and so action-packed, you know, and it's multi-layered. So based on the research I did, I was inspired to write the book. So again, it was during COVID, and I was thinking whoever was able to plant seeds now will be able to reap the benefits afterwards. So I decided to dive into that project, keep my mind, you know, thinking and positive, and have a goal and a focus, and that is really what motivated. It might have been self-medication during COVID, everyone was locked down, but it's something which just driving me to get the story out.
But now this is interesting because we know this part, but you opted to turn it into an audiobook, which is not something we see a lot in Trinidad and Tobago. So what inspired that transformational shift?
Well, a lot of the people I would have interacted with, they said, boy, I want to read it, but I have no time. Put on an audiobook now, so when I drive into work, I could listen to it. When I'm on a plane traveling, I could listen to it. And again, we have moved into the era of digital. Yeah. It's very difficult to get the youth, especially who are trying to target with the book, to sit down and read a book, you know? So it's about making it easier for the viewer, the consumer, the audience at all points in time.
I feel like you just gave us a little surprise there when you said viewer, but we'll get into that in a little while. Navid, Steelpan is a central part of our culture and also part of the story. Yes. How were you able to incorporate it into the soundscape in a way that felt both authentic to us, but also emotionally resonant?
Okay. Well, as a film composer, my job is to follow the instructions of the director and get what's in his head, you know, into audio form. That's my job. So in terms of this particular book, which is now, of course, an audiobook, the time period from slavery to independence, the Steelpans of today did not sound like how it sounded back then. Right. So I had to do some research, find the kind of tones that was used, replicate those tones, and then, of course, have the music support the story. So as the audiobook progresses, the music gets more and more complex because people are now figuring out how this new instrument, since it was created here, how it can express themselves. So in the beginning, it was very simple, you know, hitting a one pan, one note. And then from there, it gets more and more complicated.
It sounds like you had your work cut out for you, that is for sure.
It took 4 months.
4 months?
Yeah, 4 months.
And, you know, this is the thing, because what we see is a great product, or we hear rather, I'm already jumping forward. We hear a great product, and we don't realize the amount of time that goes into it. But we're speaking about it as an audiobook. For what you've also shared there is a lot going on.
A lot of research as well.
Yeah, and you've also referenced it as an audio cinematic experience.
Yes.
Why?
Well, as Navid says, it's different soundscapes, and the book will carry you from slavery, emancipation to independence, so different eras of sound. So the tambour bamboo sound, before the initial, as you said, the one ping, ping, ping from Hamel, and then the cap bringing out the four note and the tune boom. So you have to experience it as the listener, and it's really a fully immersive. It's not me sitting down narrating it.
Yeah.
It's really getting some of the best voices in Trinidad. I wish I could have had a young lady to my side here to play a character, but so it goes sometimes.
So it goes sometimes.
But it was really about making that immersive experience for the listener to just close their eyes and they think in the cinema, experience in a movie or something like that.
100%. Now, some things do happen, to say the least. You would have seen there on your screen some of the voice casted, and you know what? Next time, sometimes drones fall from the sky. What can we do?
But that is it. At the wrong time.
At the wrong time, that is for sure. So how did you go about selecting voices for this?
Well, initially I had my base of people I am familiar with for forever. Like Paul Price, I know Paul Price over 30 years, I know Nikolai Salcedo probably over 15 years by now, Samara Lalo is my cousin, Navid, I've known Navid as a sound designer for well over 15 years, I would say. So based on my experience and my background in entertainment, I had a nice network of talent. Yeah. And then it was really about authenticity, because I'm also the casting director, right? So it was about finding the voice for the character. Like certain people, I wanted them to have a more raspy voice, more, and certain people would have been a more highfalutin to represent the character. So this story is not just about the slave and the former slave, but also the former slave master. So those characters, there was one French character that we had to bring in, a French speaker, a guy from France, right? So he became our French dialect coach, because you have a patois in there. So it was really about finding the right people to make it as authentic as possible.
That is so incredible, because it shows also it's not just representing us, we're going out there regionally and to the world and bringing something to life. When you mention something like Vikings, you think about it, we all consume it all over the world, so why not have our very own right here? Navid, the story spans from emancipation all the way until now. You would have mentioned a lot of the research that went into it, but how challenging was it to create authentic soundscapes for every era?
For me, it's not that hard, because it's not. It's not, because of what I do for a living. But the interesting thing is, like, for example, Port of Spain back in the 30s, for example, we had tram cars here, and a lot of people may not know that. My mom, she was born and bred in St. James, where part of the story is. So it's very easy to grasp these kind of sounds, and then, of course, incorporate it in such a way that it sounds very authentic.
That's something that's so beautiful. I love that you mentioned that, because a lot of people don't know trams in the 1930s, trains, and so many other things that today, of course, we wouldn't be aware of those sounds. So, I mean, congrats to you as well, and the entire team for being able to bring something to life and actually take us back to that time. Now, one of the things, of course, when it comes to this is history, but also connecting culturally. Stuart, how would you say Ibadan from Heliard connects with the younger generation today?
Oh, well, that's a good question. Actually, right now, today is the last day of a children's camp I run off of the book. Yeah. So I teach them the themes of the book and discuss the initial pan, how it was convex before, then went concave. The children could actually tell it was eliminate, put the rubber on the sticks. They could tell the whole history. So when I interact with them, I realize that there is an interest. People of a certain age might lose the interest and lose the passion to find out where they came from and their history and so. But at the young, impressionable minds, they're so inquisitive. They want to know so much about their past and how things came to be. So, like in the camp, we have a Exeter Steelpan on display, and they play it every day, and so. And I could see the fascination in their faces. So the book is already about getting the story to the audience, especially that younger generation.
Now, speaking about getting it to the audience, how can people listen to Ibadan to Heliard, and why did you decide to elect one of our very own right here at the TTT Limited Media Network?
Right. Well, it was launched Friday, Emancipation Day. Right. So firstly, the book spans emancipation to independence, but central to that is the Steelpan.
Was it important for you to launch it on Emancipation Day?
It was. That's what I'm now touching on. So it was important to launch it there because the book follows that path of emancipation, creation of the Steelpan, which is the World Steelpan Day celebrated in the middle. So it's Emancipation Day, World Steelpan Day, then Independence, which is the story of Trinidad in a nutshell. And that's how the book follows it. So I wanted to release the book on Emancipation Day so that it will also follow that path. Going back to your question, if I could...
asking where we can listen to it.
Right. So I wanted to have it available for free for this month.
Yes.
So I have it playing on Talk City 91.1 FM. So it's been playing every day. Yes, it's been playing every day since the 1st, and it continues to play until the 11th. Actually, tonight we're doing a full recap of chapter 1 to 8 and continue. on Independence, on Steelpan Day, on 11 Monday, we plan to have the whole thing played.
Excellent. Well, Navid and Stuart, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you
so
for the
much.
wonderful work. It's a pleasure to have you, and looking forward to having you back again soon, because I feel like there's more coming. Trinidad and Tobago, stay tuned. There's more coming up on the Now Morning Show right after this break.